Chazak Baruch, Boker Tov, everyone. So we are in Siman Mem here in the Shemeshum again, and I'll give a little bit of an intro to this halacha. So we know that when it comes to the laws of brachot, of eating, so there's a bracha before we eat, even if we eat something very, very small, one sesame seed. I want to put in my mouth, you got to make a bracha. A little bit of a drink, one little candy, you got to make a bracha. The thing is, the after bracha, it needs a required amount in order to say the Bor Nefashot, or the Alamichya, or Birkat Hamazon. Kazait, or Kabetza. Kazait is the 27 grams of that item, and the drink Revi'it, 86 milliliters, and then you say the after bracha. Okay, so, says the Shulchan Aruch the following, Ha'ochel pachot mikazait, if someone eats less than a kazait, ben bepat, ben bishar ochlim, be it even if it's bread, or if it's other food. So, if it's bread, less than a kazait, so the following, the person always has to wash his hands for bread. It's just a side point. He has to always wash his hands for bread. And if though you know you're going to have a tiny bit, you wash your hands without a bracha, you say hamotzi, you have a tiny, less than a kazait, and you don't have to make Birkat Hamazon. Again, less than a kazait is a small amount, and you don't want to play with anything. Now, let's say you wash and you make a bracha, then you're supposed to eat really a kabetza, which is 54 grams. If you ended up eating only more than 27, you still make Birkat Hamazon. Okay. So if you eat less than the amount, there's no after bracha. You make the bracha prior to eating. You don't make any bracha afterwards. Now here, potentially might be an exception. There are those that have doubts regarding shal davar kibriyato. If you eat something the way it was Hashem created it, you eat it in its entirety, then there are those that say you need an after bracha even if it's a small amount. Kegon gargil shel anav or shel rimon. You eat one grape. One grape is a beautiful whole fruit that Hashem created. It's a small thing. It's less than 27 grams. There are those that say if you eat an entire grape in one shot, or even one little piece of a pomegranate, one little seed. It's an entire item. It's an entire mini fruit in and of itself. Some say you eat that whole thing on its own, and it's less than 27 grams, you eat the entire thing, because it's a beautiful bria, it's an entire creation, it's chashuv, it's important, and maybe some say that you would need to say the after bracha in that situation. So, what does the Shulchan Aruch write? What does he rule? How does he rule? Some say that to make the after bracha, even though there's not a kazait. Lachen, therefore, nachon li zaher, it's a good idea to be careful. Shelo le'echol birya pachot mikazait. So his etzah, his advice is, it's a good idea to, let's say when eating grapes, to make sure to eat 27 grams. Because if you're eating one or two, now it's less than 27 grams, you get into this question of, do I need to make a bracha achrona or not? There are some opinions that say it's such a beautiful entire fruit, maybe I do have to make a bracha achrona. So he gives you an advice. So you know what? When you're eating those type of things, then make sure you eat more than 27 grams, and therefore you'll make the after bracha in all situations. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't make that if you want to have one, what happens? So here is the classic in the law, and in looking and understanding Shulchan Aruch, this is a classic what's called stam veyesh. The Shulchan Aruch starts, and he said, if you eat any bracha beforehand, it's a bracha. Afterwards, you need 27 grams. There are those that say, when it comes to a full fruit, to make the bracha afterwards. What should you do? Here's the advice: eat more. This is a classic stam veyesh. The stam is you need 27 grams. There are those that say that even a small amount. Anytime there's a ruling of stam veyesh, a general rule, and some that say, we go with the general rule. So the general rule is you need 27 grams even if you ate the full fruit. But Shulchan Aruch just wants to give you that advice that if you ate one or two, make sure to eat more. Now what if I didn't? So we go with the yesh that you don't have to say a bracha achrona. So that's why now Rabbi Shalom Hassas says that's why the Shulchan Aruch wrote nachon li zaher. It's a good idea to be careful to now eat more than 27 grams, but not yesh li zaher. One should do this. It's a good idea too. Meaning, if you only ate one grape, then you don't make a bracha achrona. So that's the final ruling. So you could, even if you want to, I want to just have one grape. So don't worry, you could eat the one grape. You don't have to make a bracha. If you want to have the extra nachon lizair, it's a good idea to be careful. It's a good idea to have this in mind. Eat 27 grams of it. Eat a little bit more. And the truth is, he doesn't mention here, but there is another way to work around this. If you take the grape, say the bracha, and you bite half of it, you eat half, and then you eat the other half. So I didn't eat the entire thing in one shot. Then, according to all opinions, you didn't have it all at once, so there's not an issue. But again, even if I wanted to just have one grape, go ahead, enjoy, and you don't have to make a bracha afterwards. If you want to be a little bit, in mind, then eat more than 27 grams. So it applies to grapes, pomegranates, or any other little fruits that specifically fruits, not like, oh, this is an entire cake or an entire cookie. Specifically fruits, the way Hashem created it. There are those opinions that say less than 27 grams. You need to make the bracha achrona, but that's not the Shulchan Aruch's ruling at the end. Okay, that's that for today. Gemara shiur tonight at 8:30, Mincha 6:55, and tonight is Pesach Sheni, and we're going to talk about it in the Mishnah coming up. And tomorrow is Pesach Sheni, and it's also the Hilulav Rabbi Meir Balanes. A good idea to light a candle tomorrow. Have a good day, everyone.